Okay, good morning everyone. I hope you all are having a good Sunday. We're starting with polynomials with calculus. It's my first video on mathematics for year 12, and I will continue from here all the way till the last strand. So this is actually strand 2, polynomials with calculus. And before we go into calculus, I think it's very elegant to understand quadratic expressions and how we can factorize them, because these will really come handy once we're dealing with calculus. So today we'll be looking at factorizing trinomials. So we'll be talking about type 1 trinomials and type 2. From year 11, what are trinomials? We can notify quadratic expressions in this form: plus c. Okay, and this is basically a quadratic expression where the power of x is 2. Okay, so in type 1, the coefficient of x, right, the coefficient of x, which is a, is equal to 1. Okay, so you can say that a is equal to 1, the coefficient of x. So you'll see expressions such as x squared plus 5x plus 6. As soon as you see the coefficient of x here, which is basically 1, that's a type 1 trinomial, and I'll teach you how to factorize these in a while. And for type 2, you'll see expressions like 2x squared plus 7x plus 3. Now here notice that the coefficient of x, that is a, is equal to, so not equal to but greater than 1, or not equal to 1. So all the numbers that are greater than 1. Okay, so let's go ahead and factorize these trinomials. So I'll be showing you this question first. Let's just say this is example 1. So how do I go ahead with this problem? Now I want you to think about integer numbers. Just for example, if I have 12 here, I can say think of numbers which multiply to give you 12. Okay, so you can think of numbers like 1 times 12. Yeah, also you can think of 4 times 3, that is also 12. See, so in this way you'll be able to think of numbers which can give you that product. So, and these will be factors of these numbers which gives you the product. Now while you're solving for this question, we want numbers, okay, we want two numbers which multiply and give you this number here, 6. Okay, now the interesting thing is the same numbers, okay, the same numbers should add to give you 5. Okay, so whatever number you choose here, it should be able to add together and give you 5. Okay, so numbers which multiply to give you 6, same number should add to give you this term here, 5. Alright, so let's choose numbers. I think it's 3 multiplied by 2 that gives you 6, and 3 plus 2 gives you 5. Okay, that's an easy one, right? Now as soon as you've done this, you can go ahead and make a bracket. Now remember, these are factors of these this quadratic expression. So we'll start by saying x plus 3, and the second bracket will be x plus 2, and this is our factorized answer. Here we can say we have factorized. Now why why this bracket? Why are we adding these x's here? I'll answer this question in a very simple way. Now here I have factorized. Okay, I can also expand this bracket. Right, we'll expand this bracket. Now just to give you an idea of what's happening, now x times x will give me x squared, plus then x times 2 gives me 2x, 3 times x gives me 3x, and 3 times 2 gives me 6. Now notice here that these are like terms, so I can add them together. So x squared plus 5x plus 6, and if you look carefully, this is the same expression as I started with, which is here. Okay, so the key thing is, when you get a bracket, you could always go ahead and expand this bracket and see if you get the question you started with. This way you'll be able to check your work. Okay, so I'll do one more example. Let me do another example on the same type 1 trinomials. So that's x, so bad looking x. Okay, so it's x squared, let's say minus 2x minus 8. Okay, what are we doing here? Once again, we're looking at two numbers which multiply to give me minus 8. Be very careful with the negatives, and the same numbers should add to give me minus 2. Okay, so remember, multiply to give you 8 and add to give you minus 2. Alright, so what are the numbers? Let me just pick another color. Alright, so what are the two numbers here? I can say, let's say 4 times 2 gives me 8, and 4 plus 2 will give me 6, not minus 2. But if I add a negative here and here, I'm gonna get minus 8, and negative 4 plus 2 will give me minus 2. So see, this is a way which you can always check. So then we can go ahead and write this in a bracket, which is minus, sorry, not minus, start with an x, always start with x. So this is x minus 4, okay, because this is negative 4, so we'll say minus 4, and then this is x plus 2, and this is your factorized bracket. Okay, let me do another one. So let's do this. This is x squared plus 7x plus 12. Here again, think of two numbers which can multiply to give you 12. The same numbers should add to give you 7. So straight to my mind comes 4 times 3. 4 3 is 12, and 4 plus 3 gives you 7. So you can then say x plus 4 and x plus 3. Okay, 4 6, yeah, and we are done with factorizing type 1 trinomials. So let's go ahead and factorize type 2 trinomials. Okay, now let's factorize type 2 trinomials. Okay, so this is type 2 where a is greater than 1. So you'll start by multiplying this coefficient of x to the last term here, okay, for type 2. So 2 multiplied by 3, which is 6. So after you have done this, then the steps that you did for type 1 trinomials is continued. So two numbers which multiply to give you this number here after you multiply this. 6 here, and the same numbers should add. Okay, same numbers should add to give you this term 7x here. Okay, so 7 here. Now what are the two numbers? It's 3 times 3 times, oh no, not 3 times, sorry, it's 1 times 6, which is 6, and 1 plus 6, which is 7. Okay, now what will I do? So after that, you'll write this expression once again, so that's 2x squared plus, now you're gonna break this 7x term into these two factors. Okay, so instead of writing 7x, you'll write x plus 6x and then plus 3. Why did I do that? If you go ahead where we expanded, have a look at this one. See here, this term here. Okay, you are writing it, this is 2x plus 3x is 5x, yes? So in this case I'm working backwards and I'm breaking this 5x into 2x plus 3x. Okay, it's the same thing here. Have a look. Okay, if you look closely, x plus 6x gives you 7x, right? But why am I writing it like this? So I can factorize them. Using grouping, and then I'll factorize each bracket. Factorize each bracket by common factors. This is the first factorizing method you learned in year 11. So what is common in this bracket? That's x. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so it's x. So I'll put x outside. Inside I'll multiply by a number that gives me back 2x. So it's 2 times x. X times 2x will give me 2x squared and plus 1. So x times 1 gives me x. So this is factorized. Okay, plus here, what is common? I think 3 is common in both. So I'll close this bracket. 3 times 2x will give me 6x plus 1. 3 times 1 will give me 3. So this is factorized. Okay. Now after you factorize the outside terms, you can write them as a bracket, x plus 3, and these two brackets, since they are the same, you can write them as 1, which is 2x plus 3, and this is factorizing type 2 trinomials. Okay, I think a bit 2 extra steps are added, but with practice you'll be able to understand the differences and solve it yourself. So I'll do one more example on type 2. Let's do it here. It's part B. It's 3x squared minus 5x minus 2. So once again, the first step is to multiply this term and this term together. So 3 times minus 2 gives me minus 6. So then two numbers which multiply to give me minus 6, same numbers should add to give me minus 5. And what are those two numbers? Those two numbers are, okay, if I do 6 times 1 here, this gives me positive 6. Okay, let's wait, and 6 plus 1 gives me 7, so not 5. So that means if I add a 1 here, a minus there, now 6 times minus 1 gives me a minus 6, and also 6 plus minus 1 gives me a positive 5. So that is also not accurate, but if I can add a minus here, then negative 6 times 1 gives me a negative 6, and negative 6 plus 1 gives me a negative 5. So this works. Okay, and then I can write this as 3x squared, and remember this minus 5x, I'm writing it as negative 6x plus x, which is basically negative 5x, and minus 2. Okay, now once again I am factoring them by grouping, so I'll group them. Okay, and then I will factorize them by common factors. So what is common here? 3x is common. Inside the bracket is x minus 2, and here you can see what is common here. So 1 is common here, and inside I have x minus 2. Okay, so write the outside term as one bracket. Since both the brackets are same, I can write them as x minus 2, and this is the factorized form. Okay, now I will end this video by giving you some exercise problems. So these questions are for you to solve. For type 1, you can do x squared plus 7x plus 10 and x squared plus 5x plus 6. And for type 2, you can do 3x squared plus 10x plus 8 and 4x squared plus 9x plus 2. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can leave it in the comment section, and I will see you in the next video. Have a blessed Sunday.